Hey guys, and welcome back. This is HD Starcraft, and this is going to be game number 13, lucky number 13, that's right. And I have a special treat for you guys today. As you guys can already tell, it is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg. In fact, this is the first game I've uploaded that has my opponent as being Zerg, so hopefully you guys are pretty stoked about that. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this game underway. And as I'm sure you guys already know, Zerg vs. Zerg was very distinctly defined in Brood Wars. And in fact, if you guys played at the pro level, or if you guys know players who played at the pro level, or even watched my old videos, then you know that Zerg vs. Zerg revolves around two major units, the Mutalisk and the Scourge. And that was it. It was very two-dimensional, but at the same time it required a lot of micro, a lot of strategy, and it was quite interesting. And that's actually the buddy system kicking in right there. And I'm going to go ahead and set the game mode to faster, which, by the way, guys, is the proper game speed at ladder. Now, enough about Mutalisk and Scourge at the Brood War Pro level. This is Starcraft 2, so what has changed? What is different now? Well, A, there's no more Scourge. So that distinctly changes how the game is going to be. And I'm going to leave this on production so you guys can see the opening build order. And B, roaches have been put into the game. So now roaches are basically the bread and butter unit that all Zerg players rely on in every single matchup almost. In fact, if you don't build roaches, it's almost like you're hindering yourself. So in Zerg vs. Zerg, you would imagine that roaches are the new combat unit, the new unit you have to use, and that is exactly true. In fact, Zerg vs. Zerg completely relies on roaches, and that is it. It is very one-dimensional, and in almost all Zerg games I play versus Zerg, it has been a roach micro battle to the end. And as you guys already know, roaches can burrow, and roaches can move underground, and they regenerate much faster underground. So we'll see if this game is going to play out as a roach versus roach battle, and we'll see what happens. And there, guys, it's the Roach Warren, immediately getting the Roach Warren down after the spawning pool. And usually in ZvZ, you still want to build a couple of Zerglings in the beginning just to get some scouting information off, because the Overlord can no longer scout thanks to the Queen being able to attack air and being a very good air defender at that. So you do want to get a couple lings in the beginning. But after that, you usually do not produce any more Zerglings at all. It's just a massive roach fest. And as interesting as that may sound, a roach fest. I'm actually kind of hoping that that Blizzard decides to change the name of the roach, because I think it's a little bit bland. But everybody has their own opinion. And there you guys can see the upgrades for the roaches. First one increases movement speed. Second one allows roaches to move underground. And the third one increases health regeneration both underground and both above ground. Of course, you still need to research burrow at the lair to allow your roaches to burrow. And here we go, my opponent's Zerglings actually getting some good scouting information off into my base. And I'm not exactly sure why I'm pulling off 5 drones. This is a major mismanagement on my part. So losing a lot of mining time there, using my 5 drones to chase down 2 Zerglings. Those drones got to get back to work. They're not built for war. And so finally realizing my drones were not where they were supposed to be, sending them back. Back at base, you guys can see the larva being spawned on top of the hatchery from the Queen's ability, which can spawn larva. And that is the back door. This is Blistering Sands, by the way. Those rocks are destructible, of course. Oh, I do love the Zerg music. It is epically awesome. Probably the best remix of all from Brood War to Starcraft 2, in my opinion. So here we go, moving across the map right now, and I am going to look to try to move up that ramp But as you guys saw earlier, it is heavily defended, and my opponent has Overlords. He can see me moving in here. And he knows that my Lings and Roaches outnumber him, so he smartly walled that ramp off. And so I'm going to decide to move for the back door here. And let's see what I can do. And while this door is being destroyed, I want to quickly show you guys my graphics settings for the games, because I've had a lot of questions regarding it. So here are the graphics settings. You guys can see everything is max 1920 by 1080. Everything's on ultra or extreme. Save the settings that are only limited to high, as you guys can see there. So everything is max. And I wanted to show that real quick because I've had like 5 questions a day asking, is that the max settings for StarCraft 2? So indeed it is. What you guys see here is what you get. And actually YouTube does down convert a little bit of the quality, so once you guys get your hands on the game, when it becomes released, it will look better than this even. And so my opponent has no idea, getting back to the game, my opponent has no idea that his backdoor has been broken through, and here I am moving with my Lings and my Roaches. And now he sees that I've broken through that back door, and I'm quickly doing some economic damage, killing off a couple of drones already. My opponent quickly moves in here. I do have burrow research, so keep your eye out for that burrow micro whenever my units get low on health. And I'm going to hold alt down just to show you guys the health bars of all the Roaches, and burrowing those Roaches to get low on HP. But unfortunately, my opponent has an Overseer overhead, which allows him to see cloaked, invisible, or burrowed units. The Overseer, of course, is the upgrade to the Overlord, requiring a layer to upgrade, and that completely nullifies my attack. And what I did not catch there was a Spire being built in the back of my opponent's base. So Red here, his strategy was to wall off his ramp and go for a quick Spire, and then attack me in the air,